Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to Encounters, the #1 late-night spiritual UFO show. I'm CmdrAleon, your host. Hey, Paranormal, good to see you. It plays up. We'll have to check your message. I'm getting so many messages. Paul Jones, everybody, Jody Allen, Carl, thank you for joining us. Joseph Sunchild, good evening to you. George Hart. We're gonna bring George Hart back up in New Hampshire. Hey, Corey, good to see you, brother. Marinette, Danielle from Canada, welcome to Encounters. Everybody, please tap your screen. When you tap your screen, look at the right top corner where my profile is. You see the numbers going up. When you tap the screen, that makes the numbers go up. So we want to get up to over 100,000 by 1 a.m. this morning. Rita Lynn, good to see you. Everybody. And George, we're going to bring you back up because we didn't finish our discussion and everything just disappeared. And we're going to try to figure out what happened after the echoing deal happened. Sonia, good to have you with us. Lady D, B. Byrne, Darlene, Sasquatch 102, that's a good name. B. Byrne, welcome, B. Byrne. Chicken Nuggets, welcome. April, good to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. Alicia, oh, you're welcome. And good to have everybody. Melissa, Neal. Well, the orbs that are following people are, let's just see, they are more extraterrestrial in nature. The drones could be morphing from a non-terrestrial craft to an actual drone, but the drone thing is really kind of different. Immortal Night, good evening. We're doing well. So that's always been, hey, Cassie. I've always found, since last year when the whole thing with the drone started, then all of a sudden the orbs started, all these different orbs in the sky and coming out of the ocean. So I've had enough time to really, based on that question, I think some things are our government that has these drones. Some things are, the other things, the orbs are definitely not ours. They're definitely extraterrestrial. Hey, Tamara, good to see you. Star, good to see you. Borderline, good to see you. Ozzy, good evening. Judith, good evening. And it's a icy, cold night in New England, here in Connecticut. Up north, northern New England, they're getting all snow. We had ice, then we had rain. Now it's freezing up tonight again. And we're supposed to get a big snowstorm on Thursday. Hey, Roxy, good to see you. I'm not, I love New England. I don't mind a little bit of snow, but I'm not a big fan of getting a foot of snow on a Thursday. So I know what I'm going to do on Thursday. I'm going to be home. I'm going to be not going anywhere, and I'm going to be digging out snow and trying to keep up with the storm. It's so bad in Canada, too. Yeah, you probably got it worse than we do. Adam, hey, Adam, why do you think UFOs are normally round disc shape? Well, actually, they're not all disc shaped. That's one type of spaceship or UFO. There's some that are diamond shaped, some that are pyramid shaped, some that are circular, oval. There's a lot of different shapes to these objects that come from, either from our oceans or from outer space. And there's a chart that shows the different types of pictures over the last 70 years of what these objects look like. Great question. So the UFOs are very different. There's not one that's the same as the other. The traditional ones that have been around since the 60s are what they call flying saucers or saucer-shaped objects. And those have been around, but there's other types of UFOs that are very different. Very good question, Adam. Hey, Marie 084, Rita Lynn. Cold down south too, yeah. Hey, Notorious, good evening. Let me just see, I'm just going down the list here. Lavola, good to see you. Cuddy, good evening. Good evening. Let's see, we're in the low 20s, Roxy. I think that's unusual for you, I think. For me, I don't know. Bird lover, Washington State got some snow, but melted in my area near Portland, Oregon. Okay, cool. It melted. We're getting snow in Wednesday, second time. Rita Lynn. Hey, Leslie, good to have you with us. Let's see here. Apple cider power. Yeah, we've got apple cider. As I say, never fear, apple cider is here. Actually, that would be a good bumper sticker. Never fear, apple cider is here. Let me see here. Hey, Arthur, good to see you. Hey, David. Hey, Witchy Boo. And let's see who else we got coming in here. Hey, Lisa, let's see. Leslie, we're doing great. I hope you're doing good too. We're just nice and warm. It's a cold night here in central Connecticut, but we're doing very good. I hope everybody's doing good wherever you are. Some of you are probably in warmer places than we are, and that's a place I'd like to be. User 661, good evening. Pen Fusion. Very good, Pen Fusion. Let me see here. Go ahead. As a matter of fact, thank you for the hanging lights. So Pen Fusion, what is your question? We'd love to, answer your question if I can. Melissa says, I need some cider. I have a cold. I don't know what part of the world, country you're in, Melissa, but if they have any apple cider in the market, sometimes some markets do have them. My market has New England cider year round because they can actually refrigerate the cider, and it stays good, the whole year until cider season. Hey, Bonnie Ellis, good to see you. Let's see who else we got here. Does a body good? Yes. I'm just trying to see. You're in Trinidad. Oh, okay, Pen Fusion. You know what? We're going to bring you up here. And again, when you're a guest on the show, one of the things we do is again, you have to be over 18. No foul language or cursing on the show. No drinking on the show. No drunks on the show. No smoking on the show. No kids on the show. No paranormal discussion. No politics. No religion. I think I've covered everything. So I'm going to follow you, and I'm also going to invite you up on the screen here. You have 278 followers, and I believe we can do it. And then I want to bring George up from New Hampshire. I want to see what happened. The other night, some strange stuff happened on the show. It's all documented on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is on my bio link. There's a link on my bio here, CmdrAleon. Go to that, press the follow button first. Also press the link to subscribe, and also press the like. So when you're tapping on the screen, on my screen here, that 11.2 thousand will continually go up. So everybody has to tap on the screen. If you're wondering how those numbers go up, you make that happen collectively out there who are watching the show. Just keep tapping the screen, all right? We're going to bring Pen Fusion up here, hopefully. And going Spiritual UFO show on TikTok for over 3 years.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, Pen, welcome to the show.
Well, I'm calling you from a Caribbean island called Trinidad.
Yes, I'm familiar. So welcome to
Nice.
Encounters. Yes. I'm glad to have you with us. Tell us a little bit about your background in terms of the subject and what you'd like to ask questions about.
Well, I was listening to your guidelines and I can respect that. However, I was always intrigued with beings from another place.
Mm-hmm.
And my only question with regards to years and years of seeing footages and so on is if extraterrestrials are so advanced, what is the reason for the lights?
I knew you were going to ask me that question. I was reading before you even said it. I knew it. So I'm very glad you asked that question because a lot of people do. So people think, and again, it's just the way the human mind works. They say to themselves, well, if they're so advanced, why do they have lights? Well, I'm going to explain what the lights are because I've seen many of these so-called UFOs since I was a kid in the 60s. So a lot of the lights, the real non-terrestrial craft, have lights, which is a vibrational pattern of their energy. So the lights are not like, like you have front lights in a car. It's not that kind of thing at all. They radiate an energy of light around their craft. It's a radiating of energy. Some of these things, even the orb ships, have multicolored things happening. Some of the ones that are saucer shaped have multicolored things happening. And when you see real UFO footage, not the AI stuff or the fake, created stuff, you'll find that they're all different. Some have like a brilliant gold. I've seen spaceships or UFOs that radiate a golden energy around them. It's basically what that is the frequency of the ship. and that has to do with a higher level of frequency, so or vibrational pattern. Does that help you a little bit understand that they're not just like headlights? These are It's not like they're going with FAA regulations and they have to have lights. Some of them during the daytime, people will see them, and there's nothing happening with any kind of vibrational patterns. Some do, but most times at night, for whatever reason, when these craft are flying through and around our planet, there will be a vibrational energy of light that is around them. It could be multicolored. It could be like a rainbow of colors. It can be a solid color.
Okay, I can accept that.
Yeah.
I was always intrigued. I mean, like I said, I live in an island, man, in the Caribbean. And I was always fascinated by a bunch of stuff because I read a book the day after Roswell. And part of the book mentioned that military personnel stuck their head inside the craft and it was night and they was actually seeing, as though it was daylight through the craft, you
Mm-hmm,
know.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of things that I was trying to figure, but I'm so appreciative that you just explained it this way because I was unaware of that.
Yeah, a lot of people, and I'm appreciative of you because a lot of people always ask, why is there a light on a spaceship or a UFO? Because they think that there shouldn't be any lights on anything that is flying from another planet to Earth or whatever, coming out of the ocean and has radiating lights on it. That's just the human mind, and it's been a question. This is really the first time I've been able to really explain it in a way that I want everybody around the world to understand about these spaceships. They do have a vibrational pattern of energy that forms outside the craft in terms of light frequency. And that's what it is. It's a light frequency. It has nothing to do with, oh, we got to turn the light on so we can see where we're going. Inside that spaceship, those space people know exactly where they're going. They can see everything. They're not going to crash. And if they didn't have any lights on and they were cloaked, they would still not crash.
Right.
It's all a vibrational pattern.
Oh yes. Well, sounds reasonable to me. Very
Yeah.
reasonable to me. Yeah. Because I don't think.
That's a great question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I'm
Well, I'm
listening.
following you, and I
Oh
see that you are in your bio. Just to give you a little bit of plug, you're a singer, songwriter, musician.
yes, yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
Thank
All right,
you.
Pam Fusion. Thank you so
Oh,
much. First guest on the
take,
show,
take care,
and I'm
brother.
now following you as a friend here. We say thank you for Pam for the question. We're going to bring you down safely here, and we're going to try to bring George up. George, are you out there? George was on the show the other night, and then weird things happened. And let's see if George is still here. Let's see. You're watching Encounters. This is what we do here. I'm very spontaneous on my show. I've been very spontaneous. You never know what's going to happen. And it's all recorded what happened the other night, not last night, the night before on Friday. And what happened is just basically we're doing a show. It's all recorded on my YouTube channel. And George, who's in New Hampshire, was on my show. We're talking about, uh, thank you, Peggy, uh, about what happened with him in New Hampshire. He couldn't remember. He couldn't remember certain things. He was talking about being in a hospital. Yeah, so I'll give you a little bit. Also, watch the show from Friday night, and you'll see what happened. Um, but to basically explain it, I hope he didn't disappear. He was just in here a minute ago. We were talking about his encounter that he couldn't remember a lot of, and we were trying to like pull out memory. And at one point during the latter part of the show, before he disappeared, there was an echoing sound. It wasn't a reverb or anything or a phone problem. What happened was we have our space family. They tune into our show. They watch our show, and sometimes they will affect our electrical equipment, which is the phone. So what was happening is, as we were speaking, I was getting to a point. I put him on mute for a minute because the reverbing effect or whatever. Me sounding like my voice was going. As an example, hypothetically, it sounded like my voice was echoing into space, right? Echoing into space, and You're not. You're not. And so what happened with George is when I tried to go back to him and unmute him, all of a sudden, after the echoing thing was still going on, bam, he disappeared. Now I know he's back. I think he's in here somewhere. George is up in New Hampshire. He was a guest on my show Friday night. Please watch the show from Friday night. Everything's dated on my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to better understand what happened. You know, hey Daniel, in let me see if he's in here. I hope he is. Is George in here? I don't know if he's here or not. We're going to invite George here. I think if he's still online anywhere, we'll try to invite him and see what's happening here. I'm not sure where he might be. See if we can bring him up here. And welcome to the show here. And we have to see if he is around. So I don't know. Let's see here. But we are trying to find him. Let's see. And you're welcome to join us here on Encounters. We're glad to have everybody with us. I guess I'm not seeing what's going on here. Let's see. Well, anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. But he was in here just a minute ago when I came on, so I'm not sure. I want to make sure he's okay. And if you have a story to tell, we definitely would be happy to have you join us later on tonight. In just a little bit, I'm going to show you a video. He said his phone is unalived. Oh, that's interesting. He was just in here a minute ago. Yeah, George Hard or Martin. Yeah, I don't think he's in here. He was in here a moment ago. But anyway, I've got a video also from Arizona, another video that shows a multi-blinking spaceship that I'm going to show in just a little bit here. I'm going to show it probably at midnight. At midnight, I'll show the video. This video is also again from Arizona. I showed another video from Arizona a couple of nights ago. This video, the people were driving. They were in Gila, Arizona, between Phoenix and one other place. They weren't in Phoenix; they're outside of the Phoenix area on a road. And as the person was driving, there was 4 or 5 blinking golden lights that were like, I mean, when I saw the video, I said, I knew because I've been looking at UFO footage for years. When I looked at this video, I said, boy, if they only had gotten off the exit on the road they were on, because what they were recording was a really large spaceship that was really low out in the outskirts somewhere. It wasn't a built-up area. They were in Arizona. They were outside of Phoenix, and they were on Interstate Highway 85 or something. But there's no real traffic or anything, and you can see this object as they're traveling. I'm saying, man, I would have pulled over to record this thing. It was like unbelievable. It was really good footage. And I also, when I show you the video, I've actually kind of told you what it looks like. So when you look at the video footage, you'll look to the right part of the foot on the screen of the footage. You'll see as they are recording this object that is hovering. It was definitely hovering. It was out there somewhere in the desert of Arizona, or between where they were out of Phoenix, and the thing was hovering. It was pretty amazing. You're watching Encounters here. I'm CmdrAleon, your host. I'm a contactee since the 1960s. I've been in radio for 21 years on NPR Radio Pacifica on the subject, of course. I'm also a starseed. If you don't know what a starseed is, I am a starseed, meaning that I remember where I came from. And I'm also with the Ashtar Command, which means health and happiness. I like that name. I usually am on at 11 Eastern. I started about 17, 18 minutes after tonight, so I'm just a little bit late. little bit late. Glad to have you with us. I like the name. User number 1, welcome. So I don't know of any aliens, Cuddy, but I know of space. I know of space beings because there aren't any aliens, but I can say space being wise. There's many different types of space beings, but the ones I am connected with are Ashtar Command, which are majority are human. There might be some that are slightly different, but they are still of that higher frequency of light. Moon Wisdom, Pops, welcome. Angie, thanks for the share. Please, if you're coming in, please follow me. That's really a good thing to do. Go to my bio, press the follow button, and also the like. Keep liking. You just have to see the hearts coming up. The hearts are coming up when you tap on the screen. If you don't know how to do this, we're at 25.1. So if everybody taps on the screen while they're watching, not to get your fingers breaking off, but just tap a lot of taps, and that'll increase the numbers at 25.4 to get us up to 100,000 by 1 a.m. And I know we can do it. FYP the show if you wish. We've been on here for 3 years. You know, people have come and gone on the subject here, but we've been pretty steadfast on the topic of the space people, spiritual aspects of what's happening out there too. Good to have you with us here. And if you wish to be a guest, let's see. Alina says, I'm going to bring, I'm very spontaneous. So I'm bringing Lena. Lena, you can come up on the show and ask me the question right on the live with the host. So we'd like to invite you up here. If you can make it up here, I believe you have enough followers to go on audio. And I think Lena is going to be our second guest on the show. Glad to have you with us, Lena. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure, you know. And can you tell me where you're located on the planet?
Yes, I am East Coast, U.S.
Oh, good. Can you bring your volume up or talk more into your mic?
Certainly. How's this? Can you hear me now okay?
Bring it up just a little bit more. How high can you go?
That a little
There
bit
you
better?
go. I think you're good now.
Okay, yeah, I have a headset on. Yes,
Okay.
I was just asking if you think that there are interdimensional beings as well.
Yes. And the way I preface my answer on that question is that the interdimensional level is something that we can't perceive because we're living on Earth. We understand the word, but we've never experienced it, right? So it does exist. Just when I also use the word multidimensional, there's really no kind of like box on this thing. There are interdimensional beings that come from an interdimensional universe, so to speak. There are parallel universes that exist that are beyond human comprehension, you know? So parallel universes, like for example, this Earth here exists, but there could be a parallel Earth that's having a different experience than you and I are having. So that parallel Earth could be an Earth that totally destroyed itself, where our planet, even though we've had all these problems for billions of years in current history, we're not destroying our planet. We actually are going to have contact coming soon. And so we're in a different parallel reality than that other parallel Earth. And yeah, so
And you think
interdimensional,
the same
yes.
thing applies to other possible planets and
Yes,
okay.
absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I know the answer to the question because I've been involved in this for so long. And I can answer the question without any hesitation. It's a great question. Yeah, a lot of people, there are people out here that talk about interdimensional realities. And I think it's just as important to realize that there are interdimensional realities as well as everything being multidimensional. There's really no like limitation to things. It's almost hard for the human mind to understand that, but it does exist. It's just that we haven't experienced it yet.
So let me say this. I'm not religious or anything, but in this kind of community, I notice people like to use like angels and demons and so many different like language
Yeah,
and
there
like
are people that,
terminologies for things, and we
yeah, they
get
do.
bogged down by terminologies, and sometimes I think they're all talking about the same thing.
Yeah. So the people, and there are people that want to call the good space people these things, demons or whatever. They're not. These people usually come from a religious background that it's not their fault. They've been taught by their parents to go to a specific type of church that they teach them this stuff. In truth, though, space beings are not demons, of course, and I know what you're referring to. You've heard it. I've seen it myself over the years. And The angelic beings are actually part of the higher frequencies of light. So when, in 3D world, angels are considered certainly different than the way I perceive angels versus somebody who goes to a church, sees a cross, and says, I'm going to pray to an angel. From our perspective, because I've been a contactee, the angelic realm have planets too. The angels, they won't talk about this in a church 3D world. Do people realize that angelic beings, men and women, angelic beings have families and they have their own planets? Now, for most humans in the 3D world who go to church, they don't know that that these angels have planets they live on, just like we live on a
No, they
planet.
think they're just hanging out with clouds.
Right. They think they're just appearing and disappearing in some heavenly universe somewhere. But in truth, the angels have families too. And they live very differently than we do. They don't have all the needs for the things we need. In terms of consumption of things, the angelic beings don't need any consumption. They are pure beings of light, the angelic beings, in truth, But in the 3D world, it's a great question. We put all these labels on things, and that's what they do in the 3D religions. When they go after people in this type of community in the world that talks about these things, they automatically think that if we're involved in the UFO field and spiritual levels of light, that we're the ones that are negative, when in fact they're being negative by even attacking the people that are trying to educate people about these things, because and it's not their fault. They were brought up in a community where this is what they were taught.
Yeah, I think even in the community we have an issue, I think, with language.
Your language,
We're
yes.
bringing a lot of our old, language and feelings to it, and
Oh, yes.
I don't
Languaging, that's
know.
a great way of expressing it, Lena. It's the languaging, how people language it. And we do. I mean, and in the community and people watching my TV broadcast here, um, one of the things, for the 3 years I've been here, I've heard it all. We've had people come in who are just they're not listening. They come into a live like this to just say we need to repent for our sins without even knowing what the program's about. It's a programming of the consciousness 3D world. These people are programmed so they don't understand what we're talking about. They think that we're the ones that are, they just don't understand. And then, so I've been able to language things to people where even with those people, some of them I've turned around just to get them to listen, and I brought them up and they say, oh, now I get it. Maybe you're right. Maybe I have been indoctrinated in a specific religion when I was a kid, going to a local Christian church or, Bible thumper school or something, and some of them get it. Hey, easy, good evening. Some of them do get it, I think. And, it takes time, but I think we're coming a long way. We're 30 years ahead of ourselves now because people more, the reason why the subject of this is coming up so much, the UFOs, the spiritual levels, about the space people, which I talk about. I don't talk about nuts and bolts, as you'll get to know. I get into the Ashtar Command, which are our space family. I talk about all these things because it's not about, oh, did you see a spaceship last night? Did you see an orb in the sky? Inside these craft are beings, space beings, but people see the outside of what they visually record, and they're not thinking, oh, Commander, I saw a UFO last night. Well, did you think that maybe that thing or that particular craft has space beings inside it that are maneuvering the craft so you're able to see that craft? You know, that's the first thing people don't look at is that, it's beautiful to see some of these spaceships that are traveling all over the planet now, these orbs in the sky, but there's an intelligence behind them. And a lot of times we get caught up in the sighting,
No,
recording it,
just
you know,
seeing it and recording it. Yeah.
right. And it's way beyond, it's way more, what's going on is way more important than the sighting. It's the contact that's starting to happen visually for people around the world right now with all these sightings.
Thank you for talking with me. I appreciate it.
I
I'll
appreciate
let
you. That was a great question about
somebody
interdimensional.
else come up. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm following you too, Lena. Let me see, make sure I am. Yeah, I'm following you. All right, very much. Everybody follow Lena. You're very welcome. I'm glad you came up here. We're going to bring her down. Let's carefully here on the ship. And again, like this is what we do. So, Cuddy, we're going to bring you up on that question. Cuddy, you can come on up. You'll be our third guest with your question. This is what I do here, folks. I love to explain the answers. I have the answers. I don't like hesitate to answer a question. I know what I know because I've been around for a while. Um, hey, Cuddy, good to have you with us.
Hello, hello.
Hey, glad to have you with us. So you had a question about the mantis, right?
Yes, I was asking you if they're part of the Galactic Federation.
Well, it's not really a galactic federation. The Ashtar Command oversees everything on a Christ conscious level in the highest levels of light. There are mantis that work with the Ashtar Command that are there to help. They look very different from a space human, but they are there. There are mantis that are involved in the positivity of what we're talking about. Yes, not every single space being is going to look like my father does on a spaceship.
Mhm.
But that's a great question because I believe
Yeah.
other people have had that question. You had the question, you put it out there, and I thought I should bring you up here to ask it because it's good to have an interactive discussion too.
Yes, and do you know the Ant people as well in the Hopi tribe?
I don't know about the End people. I mean, I've heard of them. I know about the Hopi elders, the spiritual elders, because I met one years ago in Connecticut. But the Hopi are connected to many, many star races. They've had contact, the spiritual elders, for generations. That I do know.
I had another question about Mars.
Yeah,
Uh,
go ahead.
is it true that there's a insectoid, like, have you seen the movie, I'm not sure, where they're fighting the insects on the planet?
Is it a sci-fi movie?
Yeah, it's, I forgot what the name of it was. Maybe somebody can help me.
Well, I can tell you this: do not go by sci-fi. Not all sci-fi movies lead to the truth. I come from Mars. Before I came to
Okay.
Earth, I came from Mars.
Yes,
You'll hear me say that. There are
that's
no.
why I
That's a
asked.
Hollywood movie. The people on Mars are human. They're human as humans can be. They're very spiritual beings. They're Christed beings of light. They live within the inner parts of Mars. Mars has some people that live on other parts of Mars on the surface. Mars's structure, the waterways in Mars are in the inner part of Mars. The oceans, the rivers, the seas are in the inner part of Mars. Mars has a pole cap, which is just like the Earth. It has a pole cap that is like a snow ice area on Mars. So yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
everybody
But
says
forget the
Starship
Hollywood
Troopers.
movie. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, starts as true. Yeah, that is all fantasy world. That's nothing to do with reality. Mars, the Mars population is about 10 to 15 million inhabitants, and they're all human.
Good. That's where David Wilcock got the misinformation from. Then,
Yeah, his information is wrong on that.
yeah.
I like David, but he's wrong about Mars.
And there's been rumors about some spaceships that are outside Earth's orbit. And they're like main hub ships, like gas stations where they pass by.
Well, there's
Is
no
that
like, I understand the analogy of a gas station. There is about 6 or 7 large spaceships in different parts of the planet that you can see from your house, but you have to know what you're looking for. For me, I know where those ships are. When I go outside on a clear night, I can pinpoint those ships. If you see them, they're not moving. They'll have multicolored lights on. They're not like a star that, you know how stars blink like a white blinking kind of blink in the atmosphere?
yeah.
These particular craft are very large spaceships. There's about 6 or 7. They're all strategically located for millions of years around our planet. They've been there forever. And there are people in those ships. And they're
And
there for a reason. Go ahead.
they say there's multiple communities on the dark side of the moon. Is that true? And it's hollow and all that?
Yeah, the moon is actually an intergalactic structure, which is artificial. It was put there millions and millions and millions and millions of years ago. It was brought there by space people, and it was moved to that specific location. And that is actually an intergalactic space station. If people really delve into some old YouTube, not old YouTube videos, there have been some astronomers who have recorded the moon showing spaceships coming out of the surface of the moon. They're leaving the planet. Why is that? Because they're leaving from the inside of the planet. The moon, and not the planet, the moon is an artificial structure. and they're coming from, there's an opening that'll open up. These ships can come out of the intergalactic structure of the moon. So the moon
And
is not a real moon, so to speak.
how many different races are on that moon there?
I can't tell you how many different races because it's an intergalactic structure, but many different space beings go to the moon, and whether I don't know if they all interact with each other, but it's sort of like a way station, and then they leave the moon and they continue on wherever they're traveling. But it is sort of like if you're going on to if you take Star Wars and you go to a planet which is a way station, a large planet, they go there to have food, to relax, then they go back on their ship and they take off. So look at the moon as an intergalactic base.
Hmm. And
It's an intergalactic base.
is there a tunnel on one of the poles on the Earth where it leads to the center of the Earth, and it's a different dimension inside the whole population
Right. Yes,
in there?
I can answer. I know the answer to that question too. So there is entrances all over the planet. There's a main entrance, and that had a picture of the main entrance, which has been documented. It's a black and white photo, which I'm still amazed after all these years. It's still on Google search, and if you type in entrance to the inner Earth, there'll be a photo, black and white photo, real photo, and you'll see it's a big opening, and it's the main opening that goes into the inner Earth. There are other openings around the planet too that are less known, where spaceships can go into the inner Earth and our oceans and seas. But once they get into the inner Earth, in the inner Earth there is an atmosphere. There's a sun in the inner Earth. This contradicts everything that you've been taught on this planet about the way the Earth is a solid core and there's nothing there. That has been misinformation since the 1960s, and
Is it
when I
a
grew up.
dimension, or is it?
It's a vibrational frequency. So when they go into the inner Earth, the spaceships from outer space go back into the inner Earth. There are cities, there's habitat, there is natural water areas. Everything in the inner Earth is beautiful, and it does exist. So you're talking about the surface Earth, and then there's the inner Earth, which is called the Agartha network, and that is the subterranean area of the inner Earth. That's what it is. But they're teeming with men and women. There's families that live there, space people. It's a very, very high frequency vibrational area.
I live by Denver Airport, DIA. You know DIA.
Yeah, I know about Denver Airport too.
You
Go
heard
ahead.
about the tunnels underneath DIA? Do they lead to the inner Earth, or they just travel from city to city?
No, that's not in Earth. The tunnels under the airport are government operated. I think I'll give you this information about that. The reason why nobody gets to go under that area, and it's off limits if you try to, it's a big area. Part of it's being used for like an underground Earth-based operation in case something were to happen to Denver on the surface. They have some place to go. It also, I believe, there are connections and tunnels there that go to other bases that are run by the government. But it's not a place where there are any kind of ET related connections, although it's been there for quite some time.
Yeah. You don't recommend going under there as well, do you?
No, why would you want to? It doesn't. It won't
No.
help you expand your consciousness. Stay
Yeah.
away from that. If you want to
Yeah.
go anywhere, go to Mount Shasta, go to places like Sedona, go to places where the frequency of light is way, way higher. Don't even consider places like Area 51. I want to take a trip out there to the Area 51. Area 51, even though it is a place that is multi-level facilities, and including Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and other interconnected tunnels that go to these bases under the United States, that's places you don't need to go to. You want to do is just go to places that are going to help amp up your vibrational frequency.
So
You
safe
don't need to
places
go
that
there.
have crystals underneath the mountain, like April
Yeah,
live, and
yeah,
crystal caves, like in
yeah. Like
Mexico.
yeah, if you go to a place like Mount Shasta or even into Sedona, Sedona has huge crystals under the ground that exist under Sedona. My friend April and my friend Ashtar Athena, when I first met her, she lived in Sedona, and she said, "Oh, the crystals are huge crystals of energy under the area of that landmass." So that's the place you want to go. Forget Denver. Forget trying to get in the underground facility. That's not going to help you, do anything. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I
And
mean?
yeah, can I dowse for these places? Use a dowser to find crystal?
I don't. I would say I don't know about dowsers. I don't use dowsers for anything. I would just say do some research about where crystals are. There are places you can go to rock shops to get a better idea from what they call rock hounds. If you find a good
Oh,
crystal store where they dig for crystals, talk to that guy or gal about where they would suggest going for crystals. Those people know. But I wouldn't use any dowsers to try to find it.
good info. Good. Um,
Good questions. A lot of good questions, Cuddy. It's for some had you up here. I'm glad you came up.
well, yeah, I'm very into this. I had a lot of experience. So,
So
um,
tell me, you said you had a lot of experience. So tell me what experiences I'm curious. Tell me some of your stuff.
meditation is what I do. I started when I was 23. I learned from David Wilcock how to meditate at first, and then I went to Mr. Rodin, who made the Rodin coil.
Mm-hmm.
Taught me that vibrating the love sound, using the V and the love sound, vibrating the V, it helps. And then Om, I have experience in practicing Om meditation. It creates balance, creates a bubble around you, creates balance. And back then, it was 2012 when the H1N1 virus was out.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I got hit with the flu for the first
Mm-hmm.
time, very hard. I was sick for about a week.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know what to do, so I started watching videos, and I learned a video on YouTube how to do a meditation heat flash.
Hmm.
I don't know if you know about a heat flash meditation.
No, I haven't
You
heard of that.
you naturally do it when you're in a flu and you have a heat flash at the end of your flu, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can induce this in meditation. All you have to do is imagine a heat bubble inside of you, and you create that heat bubble and make it bigger and bigger and bigger till it pops.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And that's how you induce it, and you break out in a heat sweat, and it cures yourself. Basically, you're putting love light into you,
Right. Right. Right.
love
That's a
light
good
heat,
idea.
and love light heat bubble, and it just kills everything. Like the way you kill those the the what you heal with the implants.
Hmm. Interesting. So I have a feeling, and I have to go with this. You've had some sort of a contact in your life, haven't you?
Yes, I was visited by some Greys back around 2007, 2008. I was living in Montbello, and I was sleeping, and then I woke up and I couldn't move, and I was moving my eyes. I could barely twitch my head, and I was fighting with all my muscles trying to
Mm.
move. I seen something in the corner of my eye. I seen two Greys walk through the wall, and another one had disappeared. I barely seen him, but the two Greys, one walked through the wall, the other one walked through my door, and then I ended up cursing at him. I ended up using my force. They let me go as soon as they walked through the wall, and I jumped up, and I heard my mom talking to me in my head telepathically, and she ran in the hallway looking for me, and I went in the hallway looking for her, and we met up, and I asked her, "Did you call me?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "I called you with my mind too." That's where we both found out we're talking telepathically.
Oh, wow.
And she said that
So
she might have seen something too, and she wasn't too sure.
interesting. See, one thing you know about me, uh, I was reading your energy. I knew you had something happen to you. And people know this on my show. That's part of what I do as a space person. And so, what year was this when the Zeta came in and tried to, in a sense, control you?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was 1997 and
97,
1998. That was when I was around 16,
16. Okay.
17
Wow.
years old. I'm 47 now, but
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, we had a lot of weird stuff. we seen orbs around there because some people died in that area,
Hmm.
and there's some killings with some kids
So with
and
the Zeta though, and I'm going to stay focused on the ET
mhm.
part of it. Um, when they didn't touch you, they got scared or whatever they did. Did they ever come back after that?
No,
No.
I don't. Well, actually, I was yeah, it was twice that I woke up frozen like that.
Hmm.
And then there was a third time where I think I pinched my nerve and I paralyzed myself in my neck.
You paralyzed yourself. Okay. So the second time they did come back, when was that?
That was probably a couple weeks to a month after that.
Hmm. Hmm.
I remember right. I'm not too sure, but I didn't see him that time, and but I felt something that was around me. I
Mm.
think I because I was having the same memories. I was imagining myself they must be back again,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know it makes me mad that they're doing that to me. But I found out that my mom's blood type is O, and my sister's blood type's O, and they said that I'm
Hmm.
A negative, but I don't know. And they say that
Now,
oh, that blood is special for aliens,
mm,
and they
yeah.
say that they come back and get your DNA.
Yeah, the blood type shouldn't mean much to a space person. People get too hung up on the blood types, including people that want to know if there's to be a starseed, do you have a certain blood type? It has nothing to do with the blood. There's certain things with the DNA of a human that they want. And so you were a kid, 16 years old at the time. And so I want to ask you a question. So when they were interacting with you, they didn't get to implant anything in you, correct?
I don't think they did, but
Okay, good.
you know, it doesn't hurt to find out. You know, do a
Hmm.
scan or something. But I
Would you
meditate a
like me?
lot. And I put a lot of love light in me. I believe
Hmm.
I kill them off just by my meditation.
Yeah, you have a high energy about you.
Mhm.
Do you feel you should be scanned
It
just to
wouldn't
make sure,
hurt.
it wouldn't
I could
hurt?
give you permission if you want to
You
scan
give
me.
me
That's
permission to
fine.
scan you?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
folks.
fine.
So we have 372 people. I don't imagine everybody's been on my show for 3 years watching me. For the new people, I want to explain this so you don't think what's going on here. It's weird. I have the ability through scanning people remotely, no matter where they are in the world. If I find an implant in their body, I can remove the implant remotely with the palm of my hand here. My father is on a spaceship. My Earth based father no longer is here, and my Earth based mother, just to give you some background, is not here. My mother and father, who are space people, are on a spaceship, my two sisters and a brother. Okay. So I have the ability to do something, and every one of my shows for the last 3 years is documented. And last year is when I started doing implant removals on the show. That's when I was gifted the ability to do that. So again, I want people to know that when I do this, I don't even. I mean, obviously, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan him. I don't have to see him. I can kind of see him in my visual perspective. And what I'm going to do, he might not have any implants based on the way his energy is. But just to be on the safe side, we're going to do a remote scanning. So what I'm going to have you do, Cuddy, is close your eyes. We're going to have him close his eyes, everybody out there around the world. And what we're going to do is put the palm of my hands above. For me, I look above my phone is like being above somebody's head. So I'm imagining his head with the hair and everything, and we're going to scan it, and we're going to see. So as you close your eyes and you're very familiar with meditation, I want you to breathe in. We're going to have him breathe in. I want you to breathe out of your nostril about 3 or 4 times. And when you feel totally relaxed, let me know. And what we're going to do is just scan him. And if I find an implant, he'll tell me to stop. It's going to be, basically what I do is there's a heat energy that's invisible that comes out of my palms and will go directly where he is. And Cuddy, where are you located?
Denver, Colorado.
He's in Denver, Colorado. I'm in Connecticut. So there's no way we're in the same room. There's no way I can fake this. I don't have a magical wand. Everything I do here is totally documented. All right. So if you stay here, you can see what I'm going to do, or you can experience what I'm going to do here. All right. So, Cuddy, tell me when you're relaxed, and we'll start.
I'm ready.
Okay. So I'm going to close my. I'm not really going to close my eyes. I'm going to scan you right now. I'm going to start putting heat energy. When you start feeling the energy over your head, you're going to just let me know because I'm going to now scan you. And as soon as I feel your aura from here, where I am in Connecticut, and you're in Denver, Colorado, so I'm remotely doing this. I'm not even close to being in the same room or anything. Okay.
Yes.
And when you start feeling the energy, let me know. I'm starting to amp up the energy now. And None, who says, come on, man, if you just listen, None, and watch what we're doing, give yourself a break to just listen, None, and you're going to see
Yes.
what I do is real. Okay. So I want you to just relax. And when you start feeling the energy, let me know. Just relax.
Yes, a
Keep your
little
eyes
bit.
a little bit. Keep your eyes closed. Don't think. Turn your brain off. That's really important. Don't think about anything. I'm going to amp it up a little bit more. What I'm doing is I'm shooting beams of light, invisible light, into his head, and we're going to start from there. And then we're going to scan him for any possible implant. He might not have any implant at all, based on his story. But we'll find out. Okay. Tell me if you feel a little bit more.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to start scanning you around your head. Keep your eyes closed the whole time. Don't think about anything. Turn all thoughts off. And now I'm going around the ear area. Yeah, the sound was coming from outside, so somebody with a car. I'm now scanning you around the ear level. We'll bring Gene Walker up in a few minutes and we'll help him. Okay, I'm slowly going down to the shoulder area. Like I said, I'm not saying that Cuddy has any implants in him, but we're going to check just to be on the safe side.
Yes, I felt that.
Okay. Tell me if I'm going to go back here. Tell me where you feel it and tell me when to stop. I'm going right here and I'll stop when you tell me to. Going down a little bit more. Keep going in this area. Tell me when to stop, though. I'm shooting so much energy into you. If there's an implant there, you'll tell me to stop.
Were you at the back of my head earlier?
Yes,
I
I'm
felt
going back
something
to.
pointing in the back of
I'm
my
go.
head.
Okay, I'm going to the back of your head again. I'm now going back up. I'm going to slowly go back around your head. I got the energy going all around the front and the back. I'm going to go slow. You tell me when to stop if I need to. Hmm. I'm going in the back of your head right now.
Right there.
Right there. Okay, we're gonna. I feel like a bulge there, I feel in the back of your head like a bulge, like there's something there. Do you
Yeah.
feel it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an implant in the back of your head. It's right there. I can feel it. I feel it right there. I'm going to take the implant. I'm going to use the front of my hand here I'm going to shoot energy from the front of your head to the back of your head to push the implant out. I'm taking the back of my hand, which has beams of light on the implant. I'm now neutralizing the implant. And I want you to keep your eyes closed right now. I'm going to take the implant out. As I pull it out, it will not hurt. It'll be slightly like a tingling sensation, a slight discomfort. When I pull the implant out now, it'll be like a little popping sensation. So I now have the implant in my hand and I'm pulling it out of your back end of your head. And what I'm doing here, folks, is documented. Everything I do here is real. And if you're new here, you're experiencing something that is absolutely real. Now I'm pulling it out. And I'm going to just shake it a little bit so you can feel like a little vibrational shift in the back of your head.
Yeah.
Do you feel at me pulling it? Unpull?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pulling it out. So what I'm doing is I have the implant. I'm going to have it out in just a moment. The implant's going to be out. I'm going to dissolve the implant and destroy the implant. It should be out in a minute. I'm pulling the last part of it out. As soon as I have it out, tell me. I'm going to do one more pull here. And you'll know it's out. You're not going to feel that bulge in your head anymore in the back. There's no way of showing the implant none because for some reason, for whatever reason, when we take the implants out, they are invisible. And it's not my thing whether they're invisible or not. But everyone who has an implant, everyone I've documented in the last year, I've got it all documented. They've all come back and told me the implant's not in their head anymore. Is it out now?
Yeah, I heard it pop.
Okay, good. So we're now going to destroy the implant. Give me a second. I'm going to shoot heat energy back in the back of your head to heal your skin and to heal the different structures within the back of your head. I'm putting heat energy. You're going to feel heat energy going in there. Now we're sending energy back in where the implant was to heal the skin, heal the cellular structure of that part of the head here. That should be all healed up in the next few minutes. It'll be about 5 minutes, but that will be back to normal. There'll be I have a lot of heat energy coming into the back of your head to heal you. And you can feel it right now, I'm sure. Can you feel the heat energy?
Yes, I feel it.
Yeah, that's now I'm sending healing energy into your body for the head area, and all where that implant was stuck, there's not going to be any openings left. It's going to be all healed up in a few minutes. All right. I want you to keep your eyes closed. And for those who are just experiencing my show here, I do take out implants. That's part of what I do. I talk about disclosure. I talk about contact. I talk about really the most important things. I'm not a nuts and bolts guy. I'm a contactee. I'm a starseed. I've had experiences. So if you're new here, welcome to the show. So Cuddy, I want you to keep your eyes closed, and I want you to say these words. I am a cosmic, Christed being of light. I will never be implanted again.
I will never be implanted again.
I am protected.
I am protected.
I am free.
I am free
I am unconditional love.
of unconditional love.
And now I want you to keep your eyes closed. I'm going to put a light suit over your body permanently. People, when I say this who are new, when I say the word light suit, I've been gifted to put an energy suit around their body, a person's body, and they will be invisible. The suit will feel very comfortable. They won't see it. They will be protected wherever they go. There will be no negative encounters with any lower vibrational ETs. He will be well protected. So as I'm doing this right now, I'm putting this over you. I'm going to shoot the energy of light around your body. Tell me when you start feeling the suit on you. I'm starting to put it on you now.
Yes.
Okay, good. What you're seeing here, folks, is what you're experiencing here on the encounters is that there is a suit I am putting on. Even though you don't see it, you have to trust me on this. What I am doing is absolutely real. Okay, I'm doing one more layer. Thank you, Nun. No, we're glad you're here. Okay, the bodysuit is now complete. I'm going to do also another gift for you before I let you down. And thank you for all your questions too and sharing your story. We're going to send energy into your house to clear any uh, beams of light into every room. We're going to take any residual energy in that location that was from when you were a kid. We're amping up the energy in all your rooms to a much higher frequency, and also putting a shield around your home, a bubble shield, which you'll be able to feel as you go outside and during the day or whatever. You'll be able to walk through the shield and feel the light energy as you leave your property. So I want to thank you, Cuddy, for being with us here on the
Thank you.
show. I appreciate you, and I'm glad we did what we did.
Love, light, peace.
Love, light, peace, brother. Absolutely. We're going to bring you down now, and we're going to bring him down. I want to thank Cuddy. And everything I do here, folks, is real. It's documented. I'm not a magician. I don't channel anything. I don't have magic wands or crystal balls. I am here fully able to do what I do. I don't even have to prove anything. There's no way I ever will prove anything. I don't need to. I do it, and that's what happens. Hey, Kit Kat. And we have another guest. Let's see, Dream. Before I bring the other two people up, now, where's Dreamwalker? Dreamwalker, hopefully he's still there. Dreamwalker. So we have somebody on here that is being attacked by the Zeta, as I understand it. If they're not here, thank you, Maria. I'm going to go to one of the guests in the queue. You're watching Encounters. Yeah, if Dream Warrior's here, I'll help him. I don't see him. Hey, Edic. He was muted. Where's Dreamwalker? Hold on. Whoever muted him, let's unmute the Dreamwalker. Can I find Dreamwalker? So if one of my, he's got muted, so he might have left. Okay. Well, he isn't muted. Okay, he's not muted. All right. He probably left, but we'll get him. We'll help him if he's on like tomorrow night or whatever. I'm going to bring on Damien, and he's our third guest. Hopefully, if TikTok works. Hey, Damien, good evening. Damien? Okay, maybe they're not there. All right. So, again, if you wish to be a guest, okay. Gilby will bring you up. We're going to bring people up. That's a good question. Hey,
All right.
Gilly. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Yes. So you were asking about how to cleanse your crystals. I have a lot of ET crystals, and they always should be cleansed. And one of the things I do during like a full moon, during a new moon or whatever, a full moon, I put the crystals outside to let them get the energy from the universe. But also, when you have your crystals on shelves and stuff and you're using them, I also cleanse them with warm water. So I take my crystals every once in a while, I'll put warm water on them, and then I'll let them dry and put them back where I want them to be. So those two things, outside during a moon, and also just making sure your crystals don't gain all this dust and stuff and particles in the air.
Yeah, well, I've been doing this for years myself.
Oh, yeah.
But this woman told me the other month that I was doing it wrong and the moon was harvesting and not doing good for my crystals.
What were you doing that you said was wrong with your crystals?
She said I was putting them out in the moon, and the moon was harvesting
Yeah, you
my
could
crystals.
so when you put the crystals out during the moon, yeah, there is a thing called the harvest moon, but the moon itself, it's again, understand the moon. The moon is an artificial structure. So to me, I don't always do that. I just basically take my crystals, I put them under warm water, and I clean the crystals, and I just simply use light energy, and then I put them back where I put in my meditation room. They'll be put in different areas, and that's all I do. That's what I do.
Mm,
Other people might do different things.
yeah. Not only that, I've got many.
Yeah,
So it takes me a long, long time
yeah,
to put them out,
yeah.
fetch them
You
back
know,
in. But the one thing I do is I save the water
yeah,
and I use it
yeah.
for my
Denise is saying,
plants and myself.
yeah. Denise is
Is
saying
that
sage
okay?
them. Yeah, you can sage your crystals too with sage. That's true
Yeah, I
too.
do sage them as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's good.
but
Yeah.
the ones that can't go in water,
Hmm.
I sage. And
Um,
the
no, I think saging is
selenite,
good. Yeah,
selenite you can't put in water and
yeah.
things
Now,
that dissolve.
Daniel's saying, Gilly, put them in the sun. I do think the sun is a much better way to deal with your crystals on a good sunny day.
Mm,
Crystals in the sun is an energizer because it's a real sun.
mm.
Daniel, thanks for that comment. Sun
Problem
is really
is,
good. Yeah,
here in England, we don't get much sun.
I know that. You get a lot of rain and fog and everything, right?
We are not a sunny world here.
Yeah. Yeah, but when you do get the sun, utilize that too because the sun is really good. Um, but I always, like I say, I always use like warm water when I clean my crystals, and the sun is a beautiful thing. We put them out in the sun on the porch.
Right.
Yeah.
I've also got 5 meteorites.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I watched you other day with your crystals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You had some Libyan desert glass, which
Yeah.
I just purchased some last month.
Yeah. Dave's asking me
And
if I have a favorite
I've
crystal.
got
Yeah, go ahead.
moldavite, so
You got moldavite.
sulfidite,
How much
obsidian.
moldavite do you have?
It's only about an inch.
Yeah, yeah. You can still get it. Moldavite's very expensive now. Back in the day, you can go to a crystal show and buy moldavite very cheaply, but now it's very expensive. It's hard to find.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going from Czechoslovak. Yeah,
Yeah, Czechoslovakia, yeah.
yeah. There's not
Interesting.
much left now. They say.
No, there isn't. You can still find it. You have to make sure it's real though, and it's not somebody faking like
Yeah.
melted glass or whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
because I've collected crystals a long time, I've got like a machine that tells me if it's true or not
Really
and how
good. What do you
much
get?
what's in it.
So, what kind of machine? What kind of machine is that?
Well, I bought it online.
Okay.
It's a
So,
rock
a rock machine.
identifier.
Really? How much do those go for?
Uh,
Are they cheap? Are they
I've had
expensive?
it a long time, but
A long time
I
ago, yeah.
think I paid about 20 odd pound.
Okay. Okay. I'll have to
Yeah.
check that out. That's a good idea.
Or if you go online and put an app on your phone,
Yeah.
a rock identifier,
Oh,
you
cool.
can pay them a small amount of cash,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and they identify it and tell you everything that's in it
Oh,
and
good.
how much and
Good,
what.
good, good.
So
Yeah,
you know
very
you're
good.
not getting fake stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I buy crystals all the time, and I keep
Yeah, I'm
coming across
sure.
crystals I don't know, and I've
Mm-hmm.
got to have them.
Yeah.
I'm a fanatic with crystals,
Yeah. With the
and
fanatic. Hey, look.
I do healing with
Yeah.
my crystals.
Well, I can
So
imagine your room must be filled with hundreds of crystals right now.
it is, and it's painstaking to try and clean them all.
Yeah, no,
Can
I
you
know what you
imagine?
mean by, taking care of your crystals, and when I get the meditation room here set up, I'll show everybody the crystals here once we have everything set up.
Yeah, I
I'll
can't
give you a
wait.
sort of a tour.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
wait.
it'll
I
be
heard
good.
you other night,
Yeah.
and I can't wait.
We hopefully the next 2 weekends we should be ready to do that and show people. Every crystal I have is an ET activated crystal for the last 20 years. So, and current stuff that I have here. So, hey, Gilly, thank you for coming back up and sharing some of your stories about your
Yeah,
crystals too.
I just got one little more question.
Yeah,
I did ask earlier. Um,
yeah.
what do you think about Musk trying to take people to Mars?
He's not going to be able to do it.
No.
So this is where it gets interesting. Being that my consciousness as a space person, I came from Mars before he came from to Earth,
Mm,
and I'm with the Ashtar Command, that he cannot go to Mars or do any of that stuff because the Martian population and civilization will now not allow him to do that. He wants to try to
okay.
take over a planet, and there's his thinking is skewed. There's no way that that's going to be allowed by the Martian population.
So another one question. Sorry about this.
Hmm.
I've got um, a Urca diamond,
Herkimer diamonds, yes.
a
Herkimer,
piece of moldavite,
yes.
and a Libyan glass. Uh,
Did you say Libyan glass?
it's Libyan desert glass.
Libyan, I never heard of that before in my life.
I've got them all together, made like a copper thing around my neck because I deal with copper as well.
Oh, your voice just went down. What happened?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Did you turn your volume down? Turn it up. You sound like you're
No. Well,
like away from the microphone.
oh, is that better?
Much better. You said something about the glass, but we lost what you said.
Yeah. So I've put all these together in my copper um, amulet thing. What I make
Mm-hmm.
because I deal with copper as well.
Oh
Make
wow.
things with copper
Oh
because
cool.
they can. Well, they're emitters, aren't they? So anyway,
Well, you can make
so
pyramids with copper too.
oh yeah, I do. So
Yeah.
these three meteorites together are
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be very space oriented.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that I might get some kind of contact from space
Well, not it's
sometime
not
or
so
other.
much. Well, with the moldavite, it's not. The thing is, it's not just the moldavite that has that vibrational pattern. You have to do the meditational work, which means that you have to say telepathically, if you're going to use the moldavite when you go to sleep, I am a human Christed being of light, or you can say,
Yeah.
I want to connect with my Christed cosmic family in space.
Mm.
The moldavite, if you put it down under your bed and really focus on your consciousness with the moldavite, you eventually could make that contact with your space family, but you have to do at least the beginning of a meditation and have
Yeah,
some
well,
sort of focus.
I do meditate.
Oh, good.
I meditate all the time, really. I clean my chakras and that. That's
Oh,
how I
good.
heal, you know.
Oh, wow. Very
And that
good.
Christ conscience you're on about,
Mm-hmm.
that's on the 12th chakra.
Mm.
Because there's 22 chakras, as you might know.
Yeah.
There's not just 7, as we know, as Earth people know, but there is 22. And
And
the
just
12th
just to
one
interrupt
is,
you, I will answer the questions about Mars in a moment, everybody. I do see the questions, so I will definitely do that.
yeah.
Um,
Mars is a big thing at the moment.
yeah, people are asking me about Mars, so I'm going to definitely do that. All right,
Yeah.
Gilly, I want to thank you for coming
Thank
up
you very
here.
much, Commander.
All right.
I love
And
watching your show.
oh, thank you so much. We appreciate you over there in the UK. May the sun
Thank
shine
you.
a little bit more.
Thank you.
All right, we'll Gilly down. So I'm going to bring up people. Let's see. Let's see. I got somebody in the queue here. Okay, Damien. We tried to bring Damien up before, and hopefully with the TikTok thing here, hopefully it's working. This is Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. I'm CmdrAleon, your host. Damien, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm here. I like to give. I
Welcome.
like you. Yeah, you can hear me.
Yeah, you sound good. Where are you located?
I'm located in Jamaica.
Welcome to the show. And what would you like to share with us tonight on Encounters?
Yeah, I will see you. I will see you reading this guy. So I was wondering if you could give me a read up.
Okay, so before I do any read ups, I need to know some background about you. I need to know if you've had any experiences with visitation or something in your life. Can you tell us what's going on?
Yeah, when I was little, I was dreaming that I was flying around, like I was naturally flying. Yeah, like I fly from Jamaica to America before I'm gonna get experience. When I was around 23, I used to astral travel from Jamaica to America, and I see myself flying over the ocean, flying to America. And the first time I traveled, the first time I naturally went to America in my natural body, I was in New York. And when I was in New York, I said, I've been here before. And that when I was astral traveling. That's why I know I was in New York before I went there in my natural body. But I
So
didn't.
you've done astral traveling, is what you've done, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to scan you. Astral traveling is something a lot of starseed people do, or people that are activated. There's no need to scan that. That's a natural thing that some people, not everybody does, but there are people in the audience that do astral travel.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I mean I'm a star seed.
yeah, you're starseed. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good thing. That's
Okay.
very normal for you as a starseed to be able to, when you go to sleep, you can, even before you go to sleep, state to yourself, before you travel to from Jamaica to New York astral traveling, if you really want to get deeper into it, you can, you go before you go to sleep, do a 30-minute meditation and say, I wish to connect with my Christed star family from outer space. And if you say it that way before you astral travel, you know, this is telepathically your consciousness communicating. It might not happen right away, but you could potentially down the road finally be heard, because your consciousness goes into space. People don't realize this. Our consciousness, when we speak internally and we send a message, it goes into space. Most humans don't know that. I mean, the ones that are awake do, but not everybody does. So if you
Okay.
practice that aspect, Damien, through like doing a 30-minute meditation before you go to sleep, or even if you're like having a break during the day sometime, you're not doing anything, experiment with the ability to say telepathically, I wish to connect with my star family. And it might take a little bit of time for that to happen, because it's not like a race to get to the end of the track. But you could eventually, if you can astral travel, you have the ability to connect with your star family.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, you do. Do you
Okay,
do any
that's good.
meditation?
No, no, no. I don't do any meditation. It's hard for me
Ah,
to do meditation.
yeah, the meditation is key. So it's good you can astral travel. Now the key thing is, if you give yourself time, if you go on YouTube or something, there's higher dimensional ambient space music. You want to start listening to that, and in that 30 minutes, pick what you like, and then close your eyes and allow yourself to say, "I wish to connect with my cosmic Christed star family." Do you hear me? And then you want to always say Christed cosmic star family, because that is a disciplined way of connecting at some point in the universe. They say, oh, and they're going to communicate back with you. And you can also utilize that consciousness. If you're on a beach somewhere at night and it's quiet and it's a beautiful night, you can use your consciousness to say, I wish to see my star family and see one of their spaceships. And if you use that same thing that I'm telling you right now, you will eventually, in Jamaica, where you are, if you're on a nice quiet beach at night, do that meditation, maybe even on the beach, and then see in the sky whether you see that spaceship. And if you know what you're doing and you ask very specific questions, that spaceship could appear, over the ocean, and you can see it. You see what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna.
So So
I'm
try to
gonna try.
practice some of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna practice.
All right,
Okay,
Damien.
yeah, it's nice being on your show.
I appreciate you here. I'm following you. I appreciate you, and I'm following you now. So we're now friends, and you're friends now with Encounters. This is the number one spiritual UFO talk show here, over 3 years on TikTok. So we appreciate being here. Have a great night, and we're going to bring it down. Let me just do that here.
Yeah, okay.
Do
Have a
this.
great night.
You too, Damien, folks in Jamaica. And let's see. I want to get to the questions about Mars. Hey, good to see you, Rod. Good to see you here. So let's talk about Mars. I know a couple of people had questions about Mars, so I'm going to be collectively answering that question. Elon Musk has stated he wants to go to Mars. He wants to even possibly make it his new frontier. Let me speak as a Martian consciousness, because I am from Mars before coming here as an Earth person. I will tell you this, and I'm going to say it flat. If Elon Musk was on my show right now, I would point blank tell him, you cannot go to Mars. You cannot inhabit Mars. You cannot build luxury hotels on Mars. You cannot do anything on Mars. Mars is an independent planetary system, a planet that has 10 to 15 million Martians on it, and you are not taking over Mars and making it into some luxury, space for yourself, for the rich and famous. It's not happening. It's never going to happen. And Elon Musk, I'm going to tell you, you're not going. He's not here now, but I'm telling Elon Musk, as a Martian space person, you're not going to, you're not going to create a colony on Mars. It's not happening. Not happening at all. And whatever he said about Mars, he's not going there. You know, he's made comments about Mars, but that's just at him. There's other people throughout the last number of years that have talked about going to Mars. He's not the first time anyone said that. Whatever he said, it's not happening. Let's just say it this way. It's just not happening. I hope that answers the Martian question. And we have Jay Rogers. We're going to bring Jay Rogers up. This is Encounters, the number one spiritual UFO talk show here worldwide. And let me see. Jay Rogers, welcome to Encounters.
Oh, thank you for taking my call.
Yeah,
I've,
glad to
I've
have you
watched
with
your
us.
show on and off for the last 6 months or so. I really enjoy it.
Oh, thank you.
Are your associations with people encountering their, as you call it, their star families? Is it
You asked,
from just one particular planet? Are they, do they kind of populate all the planets, including Earth, or?
good question. Good question. So when we deal with other planets, and there's so many planets beyond anybody's imagination. So, for example, in our universe, there are millions and millions of planets, and there's also a
Right,
bazillion and bazillion solar systems, and that's
right,
just in one universe. For the human mind, our brain, our Earth brain, cannot comprehend the fact
right,
that there are multi-dimensional existences, parallel universes, or parallel dimensions, so many things that are beyond human understanding. So, for example, to answer your question, there's none of the planetary systems have the same grouping of beings. A
right,
being like Earth, we have Earth humans here, but Martians, Palladians, they're all different. Their energy vibrations are different. Our vibration is getting better, getting higher. But let's say I was a Palladian and I came to Earth, or I was coming from the Andromedan star system, I would be different in my consciousness than an Earth consciousness, because we would be like hypothetically more advanced spiritually than a human being.
Well, it would have to be
So
different because of just some molecule makeup of some of the planets is so much different than Earth. I mean, oxygen and so
yeah,
forth. So,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, like the oxygen Jay would be different. So people listening to this discussion now, what Jay's saying, his question is really right on the money. Every planet has different air that people breathe. Some have similar oxygen as we do on Earth. Other
uh-huh.
planets have higher levels of oxygen, and they might have two hearts, versus us having one heart. Every
Right,
planetary makeup, the physical makeup of that space person or being from another planet, might be just like us human-wise and taller, but they might have genetically their cellular structure of their body will be different,
right.
completely different. You
Now,
know what I mean?
here, this was back in September of last year, between the two towns that I'm back and forth at. I caught a video on my phone of an aircraft that I had something I'd never seen before. I'd like to at some point share it with you somehow and have you take a look at it because I haven't really got a definitive answer. A friend of mine is a major in the Air Force, and he completely shut me off with it. He just said, "Oh,
Really?
it was just a light," and that's all he said. I
That's all he
mean,
said?
to the point was, "Oh, it was just a light." And I
Now,
said,
Jay, when he said that, what was the expression on his face?
it was just total blank. I mean, like he wasn't had no emotion towards it or against it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just
Right.
it was just a light, and just looked me dead in the eye and kind of shrugged his shoulders, and I walked out of his office.
Well, you know, and again, I'm being hypothetical here. It's possible because he's a major in the Air Force that he shrugged it off because he didn't want you to, you know, again, this is, again, my leaping out there a little bit, that
Right.
maybe he knew it wasn't just a light, but he didn't want you to think it was something more than a light. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, oh yeah. That's exactly the point that I took. I think that because of his affiliation with, you know, the United States Air Force, for one, I
Yeah,
don't
of course.
probably they're under order they can't
Mhm.
document or confirm or deny these kind of sightings, even to a
Mhm.
friend or family member, I would imagine.
Now,
But
since he's your friend, have you ever asked him point blank? Being a major in the Air Force now, again, I go there. I just that's what I do here. Um, if you asked him, what does the Air Force know about UFOs? What would he say to you?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I've never asked that direct question, and the reason I
Mm-hmm.
haven't is because he's an attorney at law, so he's an attorney with the Air Force.
He's an
If that
attorney
makes
with the Air
sense.
Force.
Yeah, I don't know that he's not a fighter pilot or anything like
Okay,
that.
so he might not really know anything. He's just an attorney for the Air Force.
Yeah, but the look on
Okay.
his face, it was just a light, and just looked at me like,
Yeah,
I mean, there was no
maybe.
discussion afterwards. There wasn't, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, we've been friends for, several years, going on 10, 11 years now. And I mean,
There you
we've
go.
had discussions about other things,
Yeah,
even legal
yeah,
matters. I
yeah.
mean, but just for
You
him
know,
to just say,
Jay, I think the next time you see him, I'm going to ask you to do this and do it in a good way.
well,
I would
sure,
ask this attorney, what does he know in working with the Air Force? Has he heard any stories from Air Force people? Um, Now, you say he's a major in the Air Force, correct?
correct.
So he is connected with the Air Force.
Oh yeah, he's been in the Air Force.
Okay.
He's a lifer. He's just been in his whole. And I haven't really, cornered him as to what his
Right.
particular job descriptions are. What he does
Yeah.
is he lives in a small town that I live in, and he helps
Okay.
with the court system here, with the
Okay.
prosecutor, and he helps just kind of paperwork and helps people get through
Okay.
and gives
Yeah.
advice, so forth. And he's helped me,
Hmm.
my son on a couple of occasions.
Oh,
through
wow.
some
He sounds
stuff,
like a
so
really good guy. I would
yeah, he
ask
is a
him.
good swell guy.
I would ask him. I would definitely point blank ask him over a cup of coffee and a lunch. Just
Yeah,
have some, hey, by the way, we've known each other for all these years. What do you know as an Air Force major about UFO sightings? Can you tell me some stories while we're having lunch? And I think if you broach it that way, he might say he might tell you a story or two. One story. Say I just
yeah,
want to hear one story. You don't have to tell me all of them.
yeah,
What do you want to tell me? And I bet you either he's gonna be willing to say something to you as a friend, or he's gonna change the subject. One or the other. And if he
right.
changes the subject, I'm good with that. But I
Yeah,
would
well,
broach him the next time you sit down with him. Are you willing to do that?
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It
Yeah, I'd
was
like to.
something
And
that
I want to
it's
look
something
at your
that,
video. Your video's on your phone.
yeah,
Can you send me the video if I give you my email address?
absolutely.
Okay, I'll look at the video. So your UFO footage, you can send it to me at CMDR, AL,
CMDR.
yeah, CMDR like my name,
Okay.
CMDR ALEON
Okay.
at AOL.com.
AOL. Okay.
Yeah. And I will definitely look at it. I've been looking, I get tons of videos, and I am looking at videos. I got too many emails to go through, but yeah, I
Yeah.
will definitely look at it. Give me the date of the sighting and the location, and I will take a look at it.
Okay. It's something I've never seen before. It made absolute no noise. It was
Yeah.
just it was just in midair at one point, and when me and
Wow.
a friend of mine rolled up on it, it took
Yeah.
off. I mean, like a streak. And
Really?
then all
Yeah.
of a sudden it came back and it paralleled us going down the highway, and we were doing 70, 75 miles an hour. And I mean,
Huh?
I started to get a little nervous because this thing would start flashing bright
Really?
white light. It was
Now your
almost like a
major,
triangle shaped.
now that major friend of yours saw the video,
Uh huh.
and he said it was no, and he just shrugged his shoulders.
Yeah.
He sort of
Basically just.
basically shrugged his shoulders when now the way you're explaining the video, and I can't wait to see this. Do I have your permission to post it on my Ashtar page where all the UFO footage is here on TikTok?
Absolutely. And if you make a
Okay.
million, you got to split it with me.
Yeah, I'll make. Yeah, I'm gonna make it maybe $1.
I'm kidding.
But I can't wait to see the video now. I'm having this. Now I'm thinking the way you're explaining in the video what happened in the video, and he
Uh-huh.
shrugged his shoulders. He knew exactly what that thing was.
He
He
had
knew
to.
it. He had to know. He was
Yeah.
shrugging his shoulders. He knew exactly what the thing was.
Well, there
And
was absolute no discussion after he said it was just a light and kind of shrugged his
yeah,
shoulders, and he just stared
yeah,
at me
just
like, "It's time for you to leave." And
it's
I
time.
just
Time to
said,
leave. It's
"Okay."
just
And
like
I
get
said,
get out of my office now. It's time to leave.
yeah, I
We
mean,
can't go
he
there.
didn't obviously he didn't want to discuss anything about it, but this
Yeah,
thing was no light. I mean, it was.
yeah, yeah.
Well, you'll have to see it. It'd be.
Oh yeah, when I see it, I'll know. Believe me, I can't
Yeah.
wait to see that. I'll check that video out in the morning up here in New England, where we're getting some really cold, icy weather here. But
Yeah, we're starting this whole week supposed to be that way for us as well in Kansas. So.
in Kansas, yeah, yep, and we got a big storm coming Thursday, the big storm of the winter season. We're supposed to get a foot of snow up where I am here, so I'm not looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
Well,
Hey Jay,
I
thank you for
understand.
coming up here, man. I appreciate you. Your
No,
story
I
is
appreciate
great.
it. I
It's a
do
good
enjoy
story.
listening to the show. Thank you very much.
All right, everyone, Jay. Let's thank Jay for sharing. I'm going to get the video from Jay. We're going to look at the video, and we'll even show the video on encounters. Once I look at it, I'm going to share it on my broadcast here, and you're going to
Terrific.
see what this major shrugged his shoulders about right here. So, thank you, Jay. I appreciate you,
You
man.
bet. Thank you. We'll
All
be in
right,
touch.
Jaden was in Kansas there. I know you bring him down. We're at 102,400. Thank you for saying it's over the mark. It's not even 1 o'clock yet, 12:53 a.m. in the morning here on the East Coast. You're watching Encounters, the late night #1 spiritual UFO talk show that's been on here for 3 years, brothers and sisters. And I'm a contactee. I've seen hundreds of UFOs since the 60s. I've even seen 2 spaceships in the 80s. And as real as it gets, your story like I did earlier. If you're watching the show, I took out a negative implant out of the back of Cuddy's head earlier in the show. That's all. All of this show is being recorded right now. You'll see this show on my YouTube channel. Go to my bio. Please press the follow button. If you're not following me, press the follow button. Also, there's a link to my YouTube channel, and you'll see all the encounter shows on there that are recorded for the last 3 years mostly. And we'll do some more interviews here. If you'd like to come up and share any of your sightings that you're having, please do. You have to be over 18. What is the Encounters anniversary? That's a great question. All I know is I've been on here for 3 years. I started 3 years ago. I don't know exactly. I'd have to go back in time. I probably could go back on my TikTok here and figure out when I joined it. But 3 years. I don't know the month. I'll have to do some research. I don't remember exactly when, but I know it's 3 years. My daughter probably knows. My daughter probably can tell me when I actually joined. I'll have to ask her. But yeah, I want to show this video. I'm going to show you a video here. Let me just bring the lighting over here a little bit differently to where I am closer. I'm going to show you a video, and this is going to blow your mind. I have it posted, and we will show it to you. I believe I have it posted. Oh, yeah, I do. That's not it. Wrong video. Let me go backwards here, folks. Here it is. I'm going to show you a video. This is from Buckeye. This is actually, I'll read it to you. It's a blink. Let's see here. It's a blinking. Let me just go here for a minute. It has blinking golden lights on it, and I'm going to show you to you. I made a little typo error, but I said breaking golden UFO. It says a blinking golden UFO spaceship with blinking golden lights. Well, I did mention blinking. Oh yeah, Astro Command News breaking golden UFO. That's no pun there. So we're going to go to the video. I'm going to show it to you, and let me do this here. Everyone's going to get to see this. Let me turn the light out here. Get ready. We're going to flip the camera. You're watching Encounters. We are here till 1 o'clock. This video is going to blow your mind. Let's see here. Let's see if I can read up. Okay. I'm trying to. There we go. So I'm going to show you the video right now. And if you're new to this show, please follow us. Go to my bio. I want everybody to follow us here. Press my follow, the red button, and also like. Let's see here. And we'll go to the effects screen in a minute. Okay. We're going to show you the video now. Watch this. And as you watch this, they're on Interstate 85 in Arizona, northbound towards Phoenix, in a place called Buckeye, Arizona. Check this out. Tell me if you're paying attention where the spaceship is. If you're paying attention, you'll know where the spaceship is that they're recording. Okay? Now they're driving. Look at this thing. And you're watching Encounters. And this was recorded on February the 12th, going past Buckeye, Arizona. See here. You'll see it again in a minute. There it is. I wish they had pulled over, but look at that. One of the people in the vehicle is recording it. There it is again. You can see it there. See here. Okay, let's see. There it is right there. And as they were recording it, the blinking lights started to fade out. I'm sorry about that. I think I have a copy of this. I'm going to show it to you again. Let me show you a copy of this again. Let's see. It totally went out. It disappeared. Let me go to another thing here. Hold on. I'm going to go to another part of the screen here. And we will show you. I have it here somewhere. Here we go. Here it is again. This is without any writing, so you can see it. This is the video without me having any of my stuff on it. So you're going to see it here. And again, Interstate 85, Buckeye, Arizona, going towards Phoenix, February the 12th. And this will be on my YouTube channel, Astro Command Spaceship News. And this was very impressive. On the ground. They were on the ground in a car traveling to Phoenix, and they were in Buckeye, Arizona. Yeah, it looks like it's on the ground, doesn't it? Pretty impressive. And please, if you're new to the show, we'd love you to follow us, please. We have 456 people on here. To keep tabs with the show, we're on nightly at 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock West Coast, 9 o'clock Mountain, and 10 o'clock in the Central Time Zone. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, this definitely landed. I wish they had pulled off. There was an exit ramp. I wish they had pulled off. These people pulled off. They had a chance to pull off and get closer to the object. And understand, there's desert out there, so they're out. They're outside of Phoenix. They're not even near Phoenix. They're in a place called Buckeye. Going past Buckeye, that's an old desert area out there. So you're going to see now, as they're driving, you're going to see a little bit more. And let's see here. Is that the end of it? Yeah, I guess that's the end of it. Let me turn my light back on here. Okay. Let me go back to the screen here. And we're back on the screen. Please follow and like. We appreciate you all being here for sure. And that was from Buckeye, Arizona, February the 12th. Whoops, hold on a second here. That was February the 12th of 2025. Okay. And hey, thank you, Takya. And all the new people, we welcome you here. If you've never been on my show or watched it, we've been on here for 3 years. We've been doing this stuff for 3 years here. I've been very involved in the spiritual aspects of the whole UFO subject, and I'm my contactee. I've had 2 large sightings in the 1980s here in Connecticut, so I know quite a bit about things. I know people like Colin Andrews, who is in Connecticut. He's famous for crop circle researching over in the UK. I kind of know Nick Pope, who's on Facebook. I know him. He knows me. I know a few people out there. I've not met them, those other people, but they know of me. Does my ship, Helen, know who that ship is? Did the people? I have no idea. But I can read energy of the videos. And when I show videos that I post, every video I have that I post here is ships of light or orbs of light. I can read the energy in the video of the ships that are being recorded. Tuck, yes, as I see every night going around and around the sky, they are green and red lights. Interesting, Tuck, yeah. Interesting. I hope you're recording some of them too. If they're moving around, try to document some of those things, man. That would be pretty cool. Ellen, I read the energy of the videos. When I get videos sent to me all the time regarding UFO footage, I can tell on the energy of whether they're a high vibrational ship or whether they're a low vibrational ship. But so far, the stuff I've been sent has always been high vibrational. Yeah, it was shot from a freeway. The area out there is pretty active. AZ, we're going to bring you up because you've had sightings too. Let's see. I'm going to bring AZ up if AZ can come up from out that way. We'll see. Okay, so there really us. I think it's Spanky 1. There really aren't any aliens. Aliens don't exist. That's some Earth-based media terminology. The extraterrestrial intelligences that exist are real. So, for example, the Zeta, for the most part, and reptilians, for the most part, have been doing the negative things for the last 70 years in our current history, but they've been doing it way before we existed. So, if you want to know which ETs are good and bad, I would say that all Ashtar Command is good. Ashtar Command is who I work with. They're good. They're human like us. Some of them are not looking totally human, but they're positively good. The Zeta, the reptilians, and some, maybe 1 or 2 others are of a lower vibrational frequency. Those would not be good. Just to answer your question. Oh, you're in Minnesota. Okay, Takya. Very good. Yeah, Minnesota's pretty active. Hey, Jay Niner. Do you use live Ronaldo Beach, California? on Graham Abel. Tell me about Graham Abel. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Graham Abel, are they on TikTok? Yeah, yeah, Raindrop. Yeah, that's true. You know, the orbs that people are seeing in the oceans that are big, and the orbs that people are seeing. If you see any orbs in wherever you are in the world, I don't know where you are, but if you're in UK or in Asia or Africa or wherever you are, and you see these huge orbs in the sky, those are large spaceships. So people, when they think of a spaceship, they think it has to be saucer shaped, right? That's the traditional thing that you see in pictures. That's the traditional thing you see in movies. That's just the tradition. But in essence, every spaceship is different. You know, they all are different. They operate in different vibrational patterns. They're not always going to be the way we particularly think a spaceship should look like. And we have to think out of the box, you know, we have to kind of expand out of the box a bit. So when you do see something unusual in the sky and you document it and it looks like a huge orb with multicolors, it is a spaceship, but it's not the type of spaceship the way we have been taught spaceships should look like, with nuts and bolts and like big metal things like NASA or a space station. Higher dimensional beings or space people, they can create spaceships out of thought. The Astar Command, our space family, they create spaceships out of thought, a living ship. They exist, they're real. Now, in 3D consciousness, when we create a spaceship, you know, we have to build it with materials, with wires, with things, and everything else. When you're a higher dimensional being or a higher consciousness being, some of those ships are created through collective consciousness, and they are a spaceship. But they're created, they have a control, they have everything. They're created just by thought. We can't, for humans, we can't create a spaceship by thought. We don't have the ability yet to do that. But the higher dimensional beings, or the what I call the higher vibrational beings, they can create spaceships by thought. You didn't know that, did you? Some of you do, but yeah. So please follow me. You'll love the show. If you're just new here, you're going to be addicted to the show. If you don't have an addiction yet on the planet Earth, this is the best addiction you can have. Plus, not only that, you get to see the commander drink apple cider. I'm in New England, and I've been on for 3 years, and I drink apple cider. Yeah, Takya, yeah, it's really interesting, Takya. You know, I've seen a lot of really weird stuff in terms of UFOs since the 60s, and it's been amazing. The journey's been really kind of amazing, you know. It's really kind of I can't see them. Yeah, I would suggest if you can afford it, get night vision equipment, people. So if you don't have the right equipment and you want to see spaceships that are cloaked, if you get good night vision equipment, like ATN makes them, there's a few other companies. They're military grade. They're under. You can get them between $2,000 and $3,000. I know it's a lot of money, but if you go online, you might be able to find them at a good price. I have night vision equipment. We have a group here in Connecticut, Astar Command Group, and we use night vision equipment, and we can see spaceships that cannot be seen because they're cloaked. But with the night vision, we can see the spaceships in the night sky. And all you have to do is get night vision equipment. There's multiple ways of attracting that attention. But if you have night vision equipment, military grade, ATN's one of the companies, but do some research on it. If you can save money and get one, it's the best thing you can get is night vision equipment, because it'll look at the space and it sees Brazilian stars that you can't see without it. And it also will pick up the sightings of spaceships that are cloaked traveling in space. You'll be able to see them just with the night vision. Hey, Jetty. Yes, the C5, you did have contact. Yeah. So the C5 is really important too. So also download the C5 app, which is available on Apple and also on your Android phone on Google. And if you download, it's like a $10 fee. Download it and learn the protocol, follow the protocol. And I guarantee all 462 of you, if you do that and you follow the protocol, you'll be able to record and document spaceships, non-terrestrial spaceships. All you have to do is focus, use the protocol, which Dr. Greer created years ago, and that app is good. No matter what you think of Dr. Stephen Greer, That application does work. It's one of the best things he actually created. And it gives you the opportunity to really hone in on what you're trying to do. Get a group of people together that you feel are going to be open to it. Don't just invite anybody. Get some friends together that are open to the whole idea of life in the universe, and get together, use the app together. And if you practice using it, you will definitely document some sightings. It doesn't matter where you are. You'll be able to do it. Jules says the orbs I see are smaller, not large, and not closer. I still need to send you some. Oh, interesting, Jules. Yeah, I'd like to see it. Oh, you're watching these podcasts. Okay. Sarah says, I used to sit on the porch at night in the summer, and I saw so many, and the way they moved. Interesting. Interesting. We're going to bring Sarah up. Sarah, I'm going to do something here. I'm very spontaneous on encounters, so I'd like to hear a little bit about your story about you seeing these different objects. You're watching Encounters. It's 1:11 a.m. on the East Coast. We're usually here 8 p.m. Western, 11 p.m. Eastern here in the United States, and 11 to 1 o'clock. Hey, Sarah, welcome to the show.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm good.
Oh, good. And tell us a little about your background and your stories and sightings.
Well, I'm from Mississippi, and it's back in, I would say, in the 70s and early 80s, but especially in the 70s. I would see all kinds of odd formations in the sky, and they would just zip across really fast.
Mm,
And anyway, they would move up and down and across, and sometimes they would go horizontal, vertical, and all kind of formations all at one time. And there would be as many as up to 20 at a time.
mm-hmm,
And I had some odd things happen. I had one experience. I was like 17 years old,
mm-hmm,
and I still don't know to this day what happened. All I know is I went to town in the car, and I remember getting to a stop sign,
mm-hmm,
and then I pulled over into a parking lot. The
mm.
car had pulled over there, but I don't remember how or going into the parking lot. Period. I was gone for
Really?
yes, I
Can
was
I can
gone
I
for.
can I bring you on camera?
Right now I don't have any. I'm in a dark room. Everybody in the house is asleep, and
Oh,
there's
okay,
no
no
light in here.
worries. Okay,
But
so
anyway,
I want to talk about that. So you're
yeah,
on in Mississippi. What year was this, and when did this happen?
it was in the. I want to say around 76,
Mm-hmm.
77,
Really?
somewhere in
And
yeah, from 75 up to the 80s.
now, when you were driving, and when did you things start getting weird?
Well, I was going into town. It's like 4 miles from where I live. I was going into town in the car, and I pulled up to it's a four-way stop,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just as I was coming into town. And I remember pulling up to the stop, and then after that, I don't remember anything.
Mm-hmm. You don't have a radio
Everything
on or
is,
music, do you?
yeah, there's a TV on in the background.
You want to? Could you turn that off for a minute?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, we're going to hear the rest of the story. This is fascinating. Oh,
Okay,
good.
that
Now we can
better?
hear you better. Yeah, the
Okay.
TV was interfering. So tell us more. Continue on with the story. This is fascinating.
Well, at that point, like I said, I was around 17 years old, and
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to be meet up with some friends, but I never got there.
You never got there.
I never got there. And then it was hours later. It wasn't a space of a few minutes, but it was hours because I went to town way before nightfall.
Mm-hmm.
And when I come back from wherever it was I was taken to,
Mm-hmm.
um, it was very strange because I was coming across a parking lot, and there was a police officer coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw the car, and I was trying to make my way back to the car.
Mm-hmm.
And the police officer, he asked me, he said, "Ma'am, are you all right?" I said, "No."
Hmm.
I felt very disoriented,
Mm-hmm.
and not like I should feel at all. And the crazy thing was I was totally naked.
Wait a minute. You had clothes on when you left, right?
Yes,
When you got to where you were in this parking area, the police officer was there. You were completely naked. You had no clothes.
right.
Did you
And
go ahead?
I felt disoriented.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't drunk,
Mm-hmm.
no drugs, no nothing like that. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, he followed me. I went on to the car, and I sit down in the car. My purse was in the car, and I had a pair of shoes that was in the car, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
The keys
Mm-hmm.
were in the ignition. My
Mm-hmm.
bag was in there. Nothing was disturbed in my
Mm-hmm.
bag. And he said, can I call somebody for you?" He had one of
Mm-hmm.
those mobile phones at the time, one of the big, awkward looking ones, not like what we have nowadays,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah. Back in the
the
day,
big
yeah, yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah, he had one of those, and he called and had dispatch to get my brother on the phone
Mm-hmm.
and to bring me some clothes.
Yeah.
And my brother did. It took him about maybe 30 minutes to get some stuff together, and he'd come on and he brought me some clothes where I could put some clothes on before I went any further. But
Mm-hmm.
and to this day, I could not tell you what happened to
Mm-hmm.
me at all. I can't
Mm-hmm.
explain it, and it
Mm-hmm.
bothers me. It still bothers me, disturbs
Mm-hmm.
me to a point
Mm-hmm.
about what happened because I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. I can help you though. How much do you know about my show?
This is the second time I've crossed your page.
Oh, good. Well, you're going to be addicted to the show forever. I'm going to say right now, what I want to do. If you're on earlier with me, maybe even tomorrow night. Well, I have a lot of questions. How much missing time did you have?
There was a space of anywhere from 4 to 6 hours.
4 to 6 hours of missing time.
Yes.
I will. I'm reading into the energy here. Understand that you're going to learn a lot about me. I'm also not only a talk show host for many years on the subject. I've had many sightings, but I'm also a space person, meaning I had human parents, they're gone. I have space parents. This show is being monitored by my space parents on a spaceship outside our atmosphere. But
Okay.
I'm going to help you. I won't be able to do it tonight, but I believe that you were taken and abducted.
Well, something
Do
happened.
you know what being abducted is? Do you know what the
Yes.
definition of that is? Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question. Did you see anything before you had a missing time? Was there anything in the sky when you were driving, like an
Yes.
object or something? There was.
Yes.
Can you describe what that
Multiple.
was? Multiple objects.
Multiple.
Tell us what they looked like.
Bright, like iridescent colors that would
Mm-hmm.
kind of flow,
Mm-hmm.
like a flow in motion, but they moved extremely fast across the
Mm-hmm.
sky.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that I can remember was about that night that I still remember or feels like a memory is
Mm-hmm.
a bright flash. You know how it is when
Yeah.
headlights of a car hit you directly in your
Yeah.
eyes,
Yeah.
and it was a kind of sensation like that.
So when the light flash happened, I get the feeling it was a brilliant white flash, correct?
Yes,
When the light flash happened, is that when you had missing time?
yes,
Let me explain something. When the light flash hit you, that was a beam from their spaceship. They abducted you, took you up on the ship through the beam of light, and you couldn't remember everything. They blanked out your memory. That's why.
Okay.
And then they took you in your vehicle and they landed you in a different space. A couple hours later, you were in a completely different space than you were when you started out. Correct?
Yeah, but it's just a matter of maybe a few yards from where I was.
Just a few yards. So yeah, they can
Yeah.
do that. So they took you with their beam, abducted you, and then they set you back naked in your car a few yards away from where sometimes many abductions are different. Sometimes the
Hmm.
person will be taken to another location hours away from where they originally were. In your case, it was only a few yards. Okay. So now we're getting a
Yeah.
better
The car was in the parking lot. It was there
hmm
in the parking lot, and I was coming from like a south side
hmm
of town
hmm
on foot.
hmm
And that's when the police officers, he saw me coming across the parking lot.
Right.
And
And do you
it was
remember do you remember what time it was at that point when the beam of light came towards your body, your vehicle,
uh it was in the afternoon, probably
in the afternoon?
4:30, 5 o'clock. It was before dark.
So this was before dark. So there
Yeah,
was
it
many of
wasn't
these
dark.
objects. So the beam of light hit you, and you had over at least 4 hours of missing time. You were definitely taken on a spaceship. I don't understand why they didn't have you back in your clothes. Can you tell me if there are any markings that happened that are on your body now that weren't there before?
Well,
Like
I
any
did
kind of like
have,
dots or markings?
yeah,
You do.
yeah, I have it's a couple of brown spots, like
hmm
kind of like a mole, but not a mole.
Okay. In the areas where those spots are, do you feel like something is like I'm not trying to throw words into you here. Do you feel anything under the skin that shouldn't be there that wasn't there before?
No,
You don't.
not
Okay.
that I don't. But I
Okay.
did have something come out of my ear.
Oh, tell us about that.
That's been back um, probably about 15, 20 years ago.
hmm
Maybe not quite that long. But
hmm
my ear felt very uncomfortable.
hmm
And sometimes my ears would ring, but this
hmm
ear, I've had issues with it on and off.
hmm
And I felt like something was in there, and I kind of shook my head a little
Hmm.
bit. And when I shook my head, I felt something like it was in my ear canal. And
When
so
it came.
I reached in with my fingernail and I pulled
hmm
it out,
hmm
and it was I look in it looked kind of like a BB, but
Yeah,
it was teardrop shaped.
teardrop shaped.
Yeah.
Was it like a metal piece of metal?
Yes, it was hard. I couldn't crush it.
hmm Um, did it come? Did it physically come out of your ear by itself, or was it something that I'm trying to figure that part out? How did it end up coming out of your ear? Did it just like come up your ear and out?
Well, I've had in that era back when I was younger. After all this stuff had happened, I had what appeared to be risings in my ear,
Mm-hmm.
and they ruptured. And
Mm-hmm.
this is years after the fact, and I don't have any way of explaining what happened or why,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
I
That.
don't really
That.
understand what it was or why it was there.
And when you took it out, what did you do with that piece of teardrop metal?
At the time, I wrapped it up in some tissue and I put it in like a little box.
Mm-hmm.
But then later, the box come up gone, and I don't know where anything went.
Wait a minute. The box you put it in, the box disappeared.
Yes.
And how long? How many days after you took it out did the box with the teardropped object disappear?
Oh, Lord, I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
A day, a week?
It was more than a week, maybe around 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So interesting. Um, I want to have you on tomorrow night. Toward the end of the show. Can you come on tomorrow night?
Maybe. I'm not for sure. I'll
Or if
try.
not,
Around what time?
I go on at 11 o'clock, 10 Central.
Okay,
So
you
it'll
go
be
on at
10.
10 Central.
Yeah,
I'm
so
in
10
I'm
o'clock.
in the Central Time Zone.
Right. So if you come on at
Okay.
10, I'll be on it, which is 11. I'm an hour ahead of you. I'd like
Okay.
to scan you tomorrow night. I do a thing called scanning. I use my hands. I'm going to scan you for
Mhm.
other implants, and we're going to find out if they put other implants in your body. You wouldn't know if they're in there. This teardrop metal thing, did you know it was in there until it came out of your ear?
Well, I felt like something was there, but you can't see down in your own ear.
Right. No, that's true. I really feel I need to scan you. I feel strong. It's just too late now to do it. It's 1:26. It's now 12:26 Central. But if you
Yeah.
can come on at 10 o'clock tomorrow night, you will be my first guest, and I'm going to scan you for implants. And I need to do this. I need to. I believe there's 1 or 2 more implants in your body that need to be removed. Yep. I'll
Okay.
remove it. It won't hurt you or anything. When I remove implants, people know this. You might hear like a tingling sensation. When I take the
Mhm.
implants out, I destroy every implant I take out. So we're going to scan you, and if there are any other implants, we'll take them out.
Okay.
All right, I promise you will. Sarah, I want to thank you, man. This story is amazing. I have so many questions, but it's too late now. But I want to thank you for being our guest on the show tonight. And for people asking me how I scan, I use the palm of my hands. I'm actually, whether you believe it or not, I am a human being. I have a human life. I have cousins and relatives. I am a star seed, so I have family off planet. My father, my mother, my 2 sisters and brother, they're on a spaceship. I have space
Can I
consciousness. You go ahead.
can I ask you a question?
Oh, absolutely, Sarah. Go
Because
ahead.
um, I have abilities like clairvoyant and different types of abilities that wise.
Okay.
Okay, and I can sometimes I hear things that normal people does not hear. And I heard that I was an Arcturian starseed.
Arcturian.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm going to ask you one question now. You got me going here. When you heard that inside of your consciousness, where did you hear that from? Who told you that?
I do not know.
Did you hear a voice of a woman or a man say that to you? Do you remember? Hello?
I'm trying to remember exactly what I was doing when it was said. Um, I want to say more like maybe a female, older
A
female.
female. Okay. So I mean, I'm going to give you an answer pretty quick here. We're going to get more into it tomorrow night about that part after we deal with scanning.
Hmm.
Yeah, Arcturian. If you heard a
Yeah.
woman's voice speak to you telepathically that you're Arcturian, that probably is your space family. I mean, your space family is Arcturian. What was done to you when you had missing time is not Arcturian. That was an abduction.
Hmm.
So even as a star seed, there have been star seeds that have been abducted who are in contact with their star family, and then they get abducted by the low IBTs. So yeah, we're gonna have to talk more about this tomorrow night at 10 o'clock your time. So please join me. I wanna scan you. I want to make sure that there's no more implants in your body, and if there are, we'll take them out and destroy them.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's 2 things going on now with you. This even gets more interesting. You heard a female voice telling you in your consciousness you're Arcturian. And then you had this thing happen, excuse me, where a beam of light came, you had missing time, and when you came back, you were naked a few feet away from where you were abducted.
Yes.
So that can happen, people. People can have a connection to positive beings, and then the negative ones go because the positive person, human being, doesn't know that they're going to have that happen to them, and they don't have no way of protecting themselves. So
Right.
yeah, I totally believe there's 2 things going on here. You had lower VBTs abducting you, and then you heard a voice saying you're Arcturian, and that was totally separate from the abduction experience. We're going to have to get into that tomorrow night.
Okay.
Hey, Sarah, thank you for being here. I'm following you. I'll see you tomorrow night on Encounters.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks so
Good
much for
night.
coming up here. Good night. Take care now. And I want to thank everybody for being here. It's 1:30 a.m. It's time for me to call it a night here. My show is on every night, nightly at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 o'clock on the West Coast, 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. if you're in Australia or New Zealand, that area, the Pacific or whatever. Please follow me. If you're not following my show, go to my bio, press the red follow button, everybody, before you go. I would have certainly appreciate it. Thank you for all the good words out there from all my viewers. And again, we appreciate every you. We couldn't be doing this for 3 years without all of you finding the show and being here. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to have another great show tomorrow night. People in the UK, wherever you are, thanks for being here. All the new people, we love you. We're glad you're here. You found a place here with us, and you'll never be disappointed watching Encounters because you never know what's going to happen here. Also, my YouTube channel, go on to my main bio, press the link, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Marie, thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Sleep well. And just let's get into springtime sometime. I'm done with the winter. I'm done with the cold weather. I just want to get to the warm stuff so I can start planting things. Take care, everybody. Much peace. In the UK, it would be 4 a.m. or 5 a.m., which would be about 11 o'clock here. So 11 o'clock transformed is about 4 a.m. or 5 p.m., 4 or 5 a.m. in the UK. Absolutely, for our UK folks. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here and get some sleep. Take care, everybody. Have good dreams. We'll see you tomorrow night.